this is Rashana Levin with Keller Williams. I have worked with several clients with the Naca mortgage program, which is the Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America. And I have yet to find any information online that is a quick guide to remind consumers of the process. So I decided to create a short video to remind you of the things that you need to do to make it a quick guide before you either go to the Homebuyer Workshop, or if you have done the workshop, the purchase workshop, and you forgot the things that you need to do. So I decided to create a video. So I hope you find it useful. So a little bit about America's home mortgage program. So this is an overview. So the program offers a no down payment, which you don't have to put any money down. It has no closing costs because the closing costs are paid by the lender. There are no points or fees. There is no private mortgage insurance like that of FHA and other conventional loan products if you don't put 20% down. There is a low interest rate that you can buy down with what usually to buy down 0.25% is 1% of the sales price of the loan amount, which is the sales price. Your credit score is not considered. With NACA, they don't look at your credit score per se, but they're going to look at the payment schedules of how your things are being paid currently. So you can't have any recent lates, but your counselor will talk to you about that. The maximum loan amount varies by location. So for instance, in my area, in the Washington, D.C. area, which covers Maryland, Virginia, and D.C., the limit is $417,000. So you can't go over that amount unless you put money down. There's a home buyer, credit counseling, and volunteering is required by all of the NACA participants. No negotiation. You just have to do it if you want to participate in the program. That's how they keep the program alive, because it's a nonprofit, so they need your volunteering. Rehab or renovations are allowed. So let's say you find a house, you love it, love the neighborhood, but the house just needs some things, whether it's cosmetic or if it needs a new HVAC system, you can use the funds there. If you buy it at a certain purchase price, you can do that. So you are allowed to buy a condo as long as it's HUD approved. You can buy a co-op, you can buy a townhouse, single family, multi-unit up to 4 units. So the Homebuyer Workshop. So you have to attend the Homebuyer Workshop, and in order to find one in a location near you, go to naca.com. Then you register for your workshop and you attend the workshop and decide whether you would want to become a NACA member. And then you essentially graduate from the Homebuyer Workshop. So the map that you see to the right, the states that are in red have NACA locations in them. There are other locations that will be added at the end of the year, but if you don't have a location near you, you still can go through the NACA program, but you need to call the main number for more information. You might be able to do the virtual help instead of going to an actual location. So next, there's the budget analysis. So you have 2 forms after you have completed your Homebuyer Workshop. So you will have to complete the comprehensive budget form, which is on the left here, which is going to review your income versus your debts and total it up and see if there is any room to remove some things or pay some things off, and to see whether it really makes sense for you to buy right now. And then you have your daily expense diary. So once you complete the workshop, you're going to have to do your budget and complete the daily diary forms and submit them. So you require documentation. This is the Naca website. So you will access your Naca web file. Once you become a member, you will get a Naca ID, and you will complete all the required information and submit all the required documents for your Naca qualification online. So then you go to your housing counseling. So you schedule a session with your Naca housing counselor. You meet with a Naca housing counselor, arrive up to 30 minutes early, or be ready for the phone counseling session within 1 hour of your appointment. After that, you resolve any identified items by your counseling session. And if you need to contact the Housing Counseling Department, their number is 606-230-6222. So after you have completed all those things, next you have your action plan. Your action plan has certain target dates and things that need to be completed, who to contact. It has basically everything for you to get qualified and your next steps of what you need to do. And then you have to complete your participation commitment. You have to have at least one volunteer activity prior to qualification. All NACA members have to have 5 activities each year to stay in the program as long as you have the mortgage. So after that, you go to your purchase workshop. So you become NACA qualified and determine your maximum mortgage amount. But keep in mind, say for instance, it depends on where you're going to purchase your house. So tax rates vary county to county. So in one county you could afford one type of house, and then the next county you may not, so you may have to adjust the price accordingly. Say for instance, if you were qualified for $200,000, your payment was going to be about $1,200. If you go to a different county, then that will bump you up $200 perhaps because of the taxes. So you have to think about all of that when it comes time to, because you cannot go over the mortgage amount that NACA gives you. Don't necessarily go by the maximum mortgage amount. Go by what your PITI is, which is your principal, taxes, and interest. That's more important than the sales price, because it's going to vary from county to county and you cannot go over the PITI. So you attend the purchase workshop to begin a housing search. Then you maintain all your qualification requirements. If it's anything that NACA needs from you, turn it in on time, because that can delay the process. Then you want to locate a real estate professional that has experience with the NACA process and procedures, because NACA is a completely different scenario than regular mortgages and qualifying and the submission guidelines. There's certain guidelines that have to be followed, so you need to have an experienced real estate professional that can help you and guide you through the process, and that is aware of how the process works and who to contact to keep the process going smoothly and to inform the other agents and their clients that are involved in this scenario. So finding the right property. You want to locate a house that's less than the maximum purchase price. If the property needs repairs or renovations, you need to determine who is going to be responsible for repairing those items. And if you have decided that you want to roll the repairs into your mortgage, you need to make sure that there is enough funds to do so. So you want to contact your housing counselor with the MLS sheet with the purchase price, yearly taxes, and other assessments to determine the maximum mortgage amount based on the current rate, because you're going to have to get a letter based off of each property that you decide to write an offer on. So it's very important that your housing counselor does the forms and figures so you'll be able to understand what the payment is. They have to run it through the system to requalify you, not necessarily requalify you, but run the numbers and make sure that that particular property is going to work based on the yearly taxes, the homeowners insurance, and all of that, because they don't want you to go over, because then it's not going to work and then you're going to have to start all over with the process. So, purchase agreement. You want to submit your offer with your real estate professional. After the buyer and seller, which is you because you're buying the house, and the seller have agreed to all terms in the contract, you're going to send your agreements to your housing counselor. Now, either you or your agent can do that, so you have to figure out who's going to do what when you talk to your agent. You ensure that the contract has a home inspection and financing contingencies with enough days in order for you to complete the necessary inspections. Because if you don't have a contingency in place, then you have no way out of the contract. So that is a no-no. So never enter into a real estate transaction without a contingency. Period. I would never recommend that. So if you don't remember anything else I said, remember that. So, home inspection. You want to schedule your home inspection as soon as possible. After the inspection has been completed, sometimes inspectors take up to a day to get the report back with the photos and different things that need to be done. After that, you want to review your report with your agent and see if you're going to ask for anything to be repaired. Now keep in mind, the seller doesn't have to fix anything in the house. They're not obligated to fix anything. So you have to keep that in mind. So you can ask, but I would ask for major things to be fixed. Don't nitpick, little things, because the major things, the little small cosmetic things you can do. The hazardous things or something with the HVAC or appliances, I would ask for those things to be done. But that's just my recommendation. So you want to submit your home inspection report to the hand department, and their number is listed here, and you can also email them at hand@naca.com. NACA does require that all home inspectors be vetted by their organization. If they are not listed on the website as an approved vendor, then you can use them, but it takes up to 2 weeks for the approval process. So if you're in the beginning stages and you already have a home inspector that you would like to use, make sure that they have submitted the application, because you will not be able to use that report, and that could delay the process. It could cost you more money because you'll have to get an approved home inspector by NACA. So the renegotiation period. So there's always time from when you open escrow, when you have a contract, to the end of things that may have to be renegotiated. So if the appraisal comes in low, you'll have to renegotiate that. If something happens with the home inspection, things need to be fixed, that's considered renegotiation, because that's not the original terms. You're asking for credits or you're asking for a repair, so that's a different thing. So both parties have to agree and sign. Don't ever take a negotiation verbally. To be enforceable, it must be in writing. So have it in writing in order to protect yourself. So credit access. After that, you're going to apply for credit access. And then after you do that, you will update documentation to your file. And NACA may require you to update, your bank statements. I mean, anything they could ask you for. If something's missing in the file, things have to be updated currently of when you're going to close. So your mortgage and lender commitment. Then you complete your mortgage application, which is in the process of being started. So you submit any additional required documentation by the lender or hand. Not submitting proper documentation will result in delays and put your earnest money at risk. Meaning that if it's something that you have not done and it's your fault for not doing it, then your earnest money deposit is potentially at risk. Your earnest money deposit is submitted once you put an offer on a house, and it goes towards your closing costs, it's refunded back to you at settlement, but don't put it at risk. Ask your agent. If you'd like to work with me, ask me how that will work. Then you will receive the lender commitment with conditions. So there may be 2 more documents that need to be submitted, or certain things need to be done. I mean, the only condition may be left is for you to submit your hazard insurance policy, because everything else is completed. But it will be 1 or 2 conditions on every file. So don't be alarmed if there's something else that you have to submit. And I know the key is here is to have patience, because with the lender crisis, everything, with the meltdown, lenders go over things 2 and 3 and 4 times to make sure that every single file is compliant. Because if it's not, then they can get fined, and it just complicates things. So if they didn't verify something correctly, but it should have, it's very important that things are verified, and all the T's are dotted, all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. So it's very important that things are submitted correctly and things are done efficiently. So your homeowner's insurance. So you want to purchase 1 year of hazard homeowner's insurance. I would recommend, if you currently have auto insurance, say for instance if you have Geico. It's not a plug to Geico, but if you have Geico, then their sister company is Travelers, and they offer a discount. But this goes for Liberty Mutual or any other policy insurer. You're eligible for a discount. Ask them about a bundle package. So if you have USAA, if you have whatever insurance provider that you have for your car, ask them for a discount bundle package. So your final walkthrough. I call this the most important walk of your life, because more than likely, unless you have toured a vacant house, meaning that nobody lives there currently, this is the first time you're seeing the house without clutter or without the seller's personal belongings. So it's important to do this walk a day prior to settle, or the day of settlement, to ensure there are no deficiencies and all terms have been executed by the seller. So if the seller was supposed to, take down a TV, or they were supposed to leave a TV, if they were supposed to leave, whatever was in your contract the seller was supposed to do, you want to make sure that you have the items that they were supposed to keep in the house or were supposed to remove. Make sure that they have complied with that, because if not, then that's your time to say what's going on, or your agent to say what's going on. So that's the most important part. So funds for closing. You'll obtain a certified check for escrows, prepaid items, or buy down funds if needed. Ask your real estate agent prior to endorsing the party for the certified check. Closing day. Make sure you transfer all utilities in your name to avoid interruption of services. You attend your closing at a Naca office. That is a requirement. It has to be at a Naca office. Or some other arrangements must be made, but you have to settle with one of the Naca approved closing agencies. And then you receive your keys after you have signed all your documents. Homeownership. Congratulations, you are now a homeowner. Enjoy your new home, and your first mortgage will be due on the 1st, and make sure you pay it on time and never be late. I'm Rashana Levin with Keller Williams. This is my contact information. If you are in the Virginia, Maryland, D.C. area, I would love to assist you. If you need a realtor referral for someone that helps Naca members throughout the U.S., I would be happy to help you. Give me a call at 703-474-1754. Here are some useful resources for you. Member services. The Home Save Those are for homeowners that need to refinance their homes out of adjustable rate mortgages or get a lower rates. See if you qualify for that. If you're not a homeowner, there's HAND. The MAP is for members after they have NACA members after they have settled on their home if they have questions about the NACA program. And the real estate department.